actual operation or invasion in Ukraine, whatever way you see it, has had a polarising effect on the world. It has literally divided the world. On one side you have the West, led by the United States, and on the other you have Russia, which is supported by its allies. In this video, we explore which direction Thailand will go in regard to whom it aligns with. If this is your first time on the channel, or you have returned and like the content, then can I ask you to please like, share and subscribe. It really does help me and the channel. Oh yeah, don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss out on upcoming videos. And if you are interested in some cool links, then check them out in the description box below. Or are you looking for some merchandise, t-shirts, etc., then visit my store and check out what I've got to offer. Okay, let's start the video. Please comment below and join the conversation. Thai-Russian defence collaboration is hardly new, and Thailand, which is also a US treaty ally, has never shied away from fostering ties with other major powers as well, including China and Russia. But cooperation between Moscow and Bangkok has been on the uptick in recent years. Thailand has been looking to boost relations with several other nations following a coup in Ukraine in May 2014, as well as Thailand, which complicated its ties with the United States and other Western nations. Russia under Vladimir Putin, which is increasingly isolated from the West and its markets, has been looking to boost its presence in the Asia-Pacific, including Southeast Asia. The official line is that Thailand supports Russia and Ukraine to continue peace talks until a peace agreement is reached. The two countries should join hands to prevent a large-scale humanitarian crisis and provide humanitarian assistance in time. Stop the negative fallout and maintain the momentum of global economic recovery. The two countries should cherish the hard-won peace and development in the Asian region and promote peace and stability in the region and beyond. China's growing influence with Thailand has the United States worried, as the nearly 2-century-old treaty may be under threat and is part and parcel of Beijing's increasingly reach in Southeast Asia. Bangkok has grown tired of Washington's bullying tactics and human rights abuses, highlighted by coup attempts in 2006 and 2014. The second of which temporarily led the United States to suspend military aid and put current Thai Minister Prayuth Chan-o-cha in power. Some in Washington and inside the Thai Parliament fear that Thailand could veer further toward the path of the Philippines, another long-time US ally that has cozied up to Beijing in recent years. Although Thailand joined with 140 other countries, including 7 of its ASEAN partners, in voting for a non-binding UN General Assembly resolution deploring Russia's attack, its foreign ministry has refused to condemn Russia by name. Bangkok joined 57 other nations and abstained from voting at the United Nations General Assembly when it suspended Moscow from the UN Human Rights Council. Across the world, battles are being fought over how the war in Ukraine is discussed and presented. In Thailand, the tussle over narratives has played out not just on TV channels, but also on social media and at opposing press briefings and rival statements organised by the Russian and Ukrainian embassies. Thailand, whose foreign policy has traditionally been likened to bamboo bending with the wind, has maintained that it has a neutral stance on the war. Reaction within Thailand to Russia's invasion of Ukraine has often reflected the country's highly polarised politics. People tend to think of the Ukraine war in terms of their perception towards democracy or authoritarianism. Prominent conservatives have expressed support or sympathy for Russia, while many young people who have protested for political and monarchy reform at home have rallied behind Ukraine. Conservatives describe Russia as a long-standing friend, referring to how, more than 100 years ago, Tsar Nicholas II helped Siam resist colonist pressure. Vladimir Putin is applauded for his strong style of governance, which has been admiringly likened to that of Chinese President Xi Jinping. They think Xi Jinping led China to be a successful economy and that he is very decisive in taking measures against corruption. Conservative people are fond of that kind of leadership. Antagonism towards the US, which some establishment figures accuse of stoking Thailand's recent youth-led protests, has also shaped conservative responses to the conflict. While outright support for Russia's invasion is a minority view, commentary that is favourable to Putin has circulated widely on social media chat groups, especially among older generations and people who are sceptical of Western media. Both liberal and more conservative voices in Thailand have criticised the West for its role in the crisis. They say the US had, for a long time, failed to take Russia's security concerns seriously. They say, with so much backing from Biden and the United States in the supply of arms and resources, then the Ukrainians became more confrontational. But at the end of the day, the country that suffers now is Ukraine. They believe that the conflict is more or less a proxy war on behalf of the United States and the Western Europeans to destroy Russia. The Thai government faces an awkward balancing act though. Russia is not a key trading partner, but post-COVID, Russians have accounted for one of the largest groups of tourists arriving in Thailand. With the cost of fuel creating massive problems for everyday people, Russia's cheap oil may solve some problems in the kingdom. As with most countries in the world, they are very reliant on China as a trading partner. China is the most high-profile country that is supporting Russia and have become very strong allies. I wonder if the Thai government are holding back, waiting to see which way the conflict pans out. The world is really on a knife's edge, with the economies of all nations set to suffer. We may see the world divided into two. The West, led by the United States and Europe, and on the other side, the Brics nations led by China and Russia. Hopefully sanity will prevail and there can be negotiations and peace, but I fear that may be wishful thinking. Personally, I believe that Thailand is correct to stay neutral. They should make decisions that have benefit to its people and not play the political games that many countries and politicians are.